welcome to Keep the Change podcast number 3. My name is Jobe.
Well, my name is Oliver. We got a special guest, Jojo over here, also known as Josiah.
I'm over here.
Say that again.
I'm over here.
Okay, good. And I'm JK. I'm also known as Jonathan.
Or John. Whatever you feel like.
I'm calling him Kelly today.
Which direction is over here?
He's over here wherever I decide over here is.
It's relative.
It's relative to where I decide.
This is a postmodern podcast.
Yes, it's very collective.
Everything is relative.
Oh, no, it's screw relative.
Okay, so I got a story to tell to start this off. All right. So it was actually last week after recording the third podcast, which got deleted. So my brother came over, my oldest brother, and he works at a college. You know, he makes all the food, like the massive amount of food for the college kids. And he comes down and is like, my friend at work told me the craziest story. And this story is crazy. So,
apparently it's crazy, guys.
It's about his friend's friend, right?
Is this the dog story?
And this girl, yes, it's the dog story, so let me tell it. So, this girl is babysitting a dog for this family.
Dog sitting. Not babysitting, dog sitting.
Dog sitting.
What if it's a baby dog?
It's the first, you know,
is it babysitting a dog or is it baby dog sitting?
No, it's dog sitting.
It's
puppy sitting
at that point.
Oh.
Alright, well,
but what if it's not a puppy?
It's dog sitting.
Alright, dog sitting. So she's dog sitting, and this is in the city, right? So she gets to the apartment complex, and she opens the door, for the first time to, you know, dog sit. Dog's dead. Just lying there.
So the family's already left, and she goes to look at the dog, and
it's just dead. So she calls up. She's like crying. She's like, I don't know what happened. I just got here, and it's like this. And the guy who hired her is just like, don't worry about it. She's really old. It makes sense. And she's like, what do I do? What do I do with this dead dog? He's like, just take it to the vet. This is the vet we go to. Take it to the vet, and he'll take care of the dog from there. And so she's like, okay. So she doesn't know how to bring a dead dog to the vet.
Oh dear.
Because she walked over. It's in Chicago. She walked over. Well, she walked over, and she's like, what am I gonna do? So she gets a briefcase, which was the biggest carrying thing that she could find.
Oh my god.
And stuffs the dog in the briefcase.
How big's the dog?
Like a black lab, apparently.
Yeah, I was thinking
like a medium-sized black lab. And she stuffs it in the briefcase.
That's a heavy briefcase right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so she gets it, and she's like, I don't want to walk all the way to the vet, so I'll take the train. So,
she'll take a train, not a cab?
Yeah, I mean, So she gets on the line, and, with her briefcase, and she's sitting next to this, I think it's like 30-year-old guy, and he's like friendly. She thinks maybe he's like trying to, hit on her. He's like, how's it going? Talking to her. He's like being all polite and stuff. So the train's about to come to its stop, and he's like, so what's what are you doing? What's with the briefcase? And she's like, oh, it's just college student. I've got all my supplies in there, my laptop and whatnot. And the guy says, okay. So the train comes to a stop 5 minutes later. The guy gets up, punches her in the face, takes the briefcase, and runs off.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Wait, no, the suitcase. It's not a briefcase.
Yeah. Suitcase, briefcase. It's the same thing.
No, briefcases are different.
You can't fit a lab in
okay,
a briefcase.
sorry.
But like a suitcase. So she punches the girl in the face and takes the suitcase for the dead dog?
Steals the dead dog.
Oh
okay.
My gosh.
So at this point, at this point of hearing the story, I'm like, for some reason, I've heard this story before. He's like, no, this happened like 3 weeks ago to her. And I'm like, no, I've heard this story. So I look up online. I'm like, guy steals suitcase with dead dog in it. A whole plethora of stories backing all the way to 2011. This same story where the same thing happens. Someone gets on the line, gets punched, and steals a dead dog. The dog changes every time. What's happening changes, like slight variations. And I'm like, alright, I gotta show you this. This is not a true story. And he was like so upset. He's like, I'm gonna get to work tomorrow and show this to my coworker, and I'm pissed at him. And I was just like, who made this story? Because I've been looking it up. I cannot find who made the story, but it's all over the internet. And people have been talking about it on blogs. It's like, my friend told me this story, and I've been telling it for 6 months, And then someone told it to me yesterday. I'm like, this story is ridiculous. So it's one of those like, I don't know. It's a crazy story.
It's like an urban legend.
It's an urban legend.
It's a modern day repost.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of just taking it and like posting it on a different site or the exact same site, it's just like, you know what? I'm gonna take this person's story, make it my own, and be like, yeah, this totally happened to me or one of my friends. Like, that's ridiculous.
Either that, or it's the same guy going town to town stealing dead dogs.
Or that's the thing. Like, I remember reading this on Reddit like a couple of years ago.
Yeah?
Like a couple of years ago, reading this on Reddit and be like, oh my gosh, this is so awful. And then I forgot about it because I didn't care anymore. But like, yeah, I remember this story a couple of years on Reddit.
When I was telling it to you just a second ago, were you like, I've heard this before?
Yes, like I've heard this
that
before.
Was the same. See, that was the same reaction I had. I was like, why have I heard this story before?
So I think the question now is, how can we get our own story that gets stolen like that?
So did it even happen?
Did it ever happen to begin with? Was it
I
a
don't
true
know.
Story
I
at one
would,
point?
okay, stories usually aren't fabricated like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like extended, so maybe someone actually just punched him in the face and like they lost their briefcase. Or maybe someone actually like had this incident happen to them, and then it happened and it spread and it spread and it spread and it spread and it spread, and like therefore you have this now quote unquote like urban legend of this guy punching people in the face and stealing people's dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's ridiculous. All right, so you were saying we should make our own urban legend to get spread around.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get a takeaway from the story.
The takeaway is that if you want to use a good pickup line on a guy or a girl, use this one and get them sympathetic for you.
Okay.
Wait, pause. What are you talking
You
about?
gotta tell them that happened to you.
Yeah, you gotta
personally.
tell that this story happened to you, and if they really,
And that's a pickup line?
yes,
Yeah.
it'll be beautiful.
So you're gonna
Sympathy-
pick up girls with this line.
I'd be like, I'm so sad right now. I was on the train, and so like some guy punched me in the face and took my dead dog from me. I'm like, now I can't give it a proper burial or anything like that. And so I start break down like crying. I get the girl's number, and then we can go to the fake funeral for my dog once the police find it.
That sounds really, like, unattractive.
No, it'd be perfect.
You're just gonna sit there and cry.
All right, so speaking of pickup lines, I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was in class, and he's like, all semester he's been like, there's this really attractive girl that sits behind me, and I'm trying to talk to her, but I don't know what to say to her, and he's like, she talked to me the other day. She asked me for a pencil, and I didn't know what to do, so I just gave it to her without saying anything, and I was like, listen. I'll tell you what to do. When you hand her the pencil, she uses it, and when she gives it back, it's like, didn't you borrow it to write your number down for me?
Wow.
Boo. That's awful.
You could hear a pin drop.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
no.
you really wanted to work with that, I think you could say, I think you forgot to write something down on your test, and they'd be like, what? I'm like, oh, your number. That's a little bit better. Be like, you borrowed it to write your number. No, I think you forgot to write something down is much better if you're trying to like get a girl's number. But Cameron's been telling me this like this entire semester. It's just like, I really want to talk to this girl. I'm like, well, I mean, why don't you just talk to her? I'm like, well, I don't know what to talk to her about. Like, is she on her phone? Did she ever like talk about class or anything? Or like, man, that test was hard, and he just doesn't do anything with it. But don't do pickup lines. They don't work.
You know what?
Don't
No, never mind. Never mind.
Here's what you do.
That test was hard, but so was my love for you.
You just wow.
Oh,
Okay. So here's what you do: you just take all of the girls' pencils when she's looking.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, even better. You steal them
You
from
pull
all
a
the.
Monopoly.
You steal them from all the ugly girls, and then when cute girls need them, you're like, I've got that.
No, you
That's not
steal
gonna
them. No,
happen.
that's not how it works.
Don't-
You have to steal them from the girls who you want to need them.
Yeah.
That's the point.
You
You,
know,
cause,
that's
you
the
cause a
whole
pencil
idea.
monopoly.
See JoJo's.
How about you
this
just
one.
steal
I've seen it
everyone's pencils
I've seen
and
it
then
done
only
with
give them to the
rulers.
cute girls?
It can happen. One kid did it with rulers in one of my classes. It was really bad.
That's
You
amazing.
just took them all.
Yeah, he just took them all.
What class?
That was one of the laser classes I took. He just took them all and hoarded them in his desk.
So class where like rulers actually matter.
Oh yeah.
And, like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
most
No,
classes.
because lasers are so precise. You have to be precise when you're lining them up. So yeah, no, we use rulers all the time, and he just hoarded them.
So he was just like $20 a ruler.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, there were so many that we still would get what we needed, but I don't really know why he hoarded them. I think he was just bored. He was just bored.
This class is so boring. I guess I'll just steal everything.
Yeah,
On-
with
on a-
60-watt lasers.
You should
laying
check his
around.
car. He's probably got some dogs back there.
Maybe.
On a different note, Jojo, tell us a little about yourself.
About myself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
Awesome. Why is your hair slightly auburn?
Slightly auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
Auburn.
It's not like full blown orange.
No, it's not. Because my mom was a redhead, and then in her 30s, her hair just faded. So now people look at her and, like, they don't know that she used to be, like, a legit redhead. Because it's, like, faded, and she's starting to go gray. But it, like, first it went, like, brunette, and then it went, and so now she's starting to gray. But, and my sister has the reddest hair I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's natural. I have never seen, like, I even in public places, airports and stuff, I look for someone who has natural red hair that's as red as my sister's, and it doesn't happen. Like, I have not seen. I need to go to one of the ginger parades. I need to go to one of those.
Is that a thing?
So
Yeah, they have them. They have ginger gatherings. I'll look it up. There's one in
I got
Chicago.
something to say about that, about the whole ginger thing.
What's that?
So, I don't know if you guys know this, but I think it was a few years back, or maybe it still happens to this day, that everyone was claiming that redheads were going extinct. Like,
What?
everywhere over the internet.
Um,
People were like, redheads are going extinct
Okay.
because their genes are recessive.
well, actually, my sister did a research paper on this, on the trait and all that. First of all,
It's not true.
The most yeah, it's not true. And it's not true because it's recessive. So, like, it's not going to appear, but
It's still there.
it's still there. Like, Jobe might be, like, Jobe, are you Irish or Scottish at all?
I wish I was Irish.
Are you Scottish, though?
No.
No, you're not? Okay. Well, for instance, you could have, well, what about you, Jonathan?
I'm slightly Irish, yeah.
You're slightly Irish? Okay. So, like, his kids or grandkids, one could just pop out with red hair.
if he marries someone that's slightly Irish as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have someone slightly Irish. But even still, like, my mom, okay, she had very red hair. She married my dad, who maybe is Irish, but he's mostly German and Danish.
Yeah.
And, my hair has a hint of red in it. It was legit red when I was like 4 and 5. But it's faded. And then my sister's a total redhead. So, yeah, no, I don't think it could ever go extinct.
I think it's stupid to think it goes extinct because like it's in your genetic code.
Yeah,
It's like the luck of the
it
draw
won't just
for it.
disappear. Yeah, it's just there's a high probability that you won't get it.
And I think another reason it'll never go extinct is because it's not adverse to you. Like, in any way. There's nothing, like, that it stops you from doing. So, like, other traits, recessive traits, can often, get, mated out of the gene pool. But when something has no adverse effects to it, there's no, like, reason that it would go extinct. Unless, the whole species goes extinct.
All humans die.
If
then
all of a
yeah.
sudden everyone with the ginger genetic code
Yeah.
just dies off, what if someone made like a plague specifically targeting the genetic code of like red hair?
Well, then it would be adverse to your health because
yeah.
natural selection, baby.
You guys are like the canary in the coal mine that they take down to see if the air is poisoned. Like, once all the gingers die, we know that there's something up.
Yeah.
I like it.
National
We can roll with this.
I want to see this headline. Tragedy strikes as all over the world, redheads are dropping like flies.
Wow. That's, yeah.
I don't want to see that.
That got intense.
No,
Yeah,
that'd be
At
ridiculous.
least JoJo would
Yeah,
know
I don't
too.
want Jojo to die.
I don't want.
Although it looked from here, it looked like he has like brown hair. So,
Yeah, no, I do.
But
I
what
can't
if-
claim red hair anymore?
It's all about the lighting you're in.
No, it is true. In July, it looks a little more red
True,
because it's
true.
all sunny and whatnot.
But what if something started happening where, like, not species, but a race or type of people just start dying from, like, random diseases? What if that happened?
I would assume that the Blacklist, the TV show that I've been watching, is very true, and they're specifically targeting people with that kind of genetic code.
Well, I mean,
was it
like,
limitless?
dying of, like, natural causes.
Well, no, I would literally assume if it was only like one race or ethnicity that there is some plague out there that is targeting those people specifically. Like, there's no other way to look at it without being a little curious. Be like, why are only like Asians dying, or why are only gingers dying? And you're like, there's something here, and you can obviously tell it's not just like random causes. It's not how that works.
I don't even know how you'd even like try to get that to work though. Like, how would you even like make some sort of
Nanobots.
toxin like only affect people with a certain genetic makeup?
You know
I
what?
don't know.
Because I mean, all that can happen is it can target your vitals, but like all humans have the same like vitals, right? So
Yeah, and especially when it just comes to like hair color. But you know, there is a type of people who they say are very much more likely to die.
clowns.
People who get shot at.
Oh, your answer was slightly better than mine, but not much.
Both of those are
Hey, but
awful.
clowns get shot at. That was a weird
Those-
trend.
Yeah, those
That
are
was
some
so
of my
weird.
favorite videos. Have you seen it when they stop someone on the highway and the driver doesn't give one, or he just gets out with a pipe?
Yeah!
Oh my
My
god.
favorite
Well,
videos.
my favorite is when this guy in the hood that just gets out and starts beating the crap out of this clown.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
clown, like, the clown doesn't say anything. That's the scary part to me. Is he doesn't say ow. He doesn't say like,
It's
He
a
just-
prank, it's a
He
prank.
just gets like punched in the face.
Yeah.
And he like over and over and over and like no words. And I'm like, something's wrong about you.
Yeah.
I don't like you. I'm not afraid of clowns. Nor have I ever been afraid of clowns. But like so many people were like terrorized from the idea that clowns could be wandering the streets, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was great up until Halloween when people were like going to corn mazes and like trick or treating
Yeah.
and like, you know, you just
But nothing
scared that
happened
there's
on
gonna be
Halloween.
Well, yeah, but everyone was scared that there would be a clown.
Well, so you know why it started though, right?
Why?
Independent movie film in France was doing that. Like they had a clown movie and they were advertising it in a town, but literally only placing clowns in different parts of the town, just standing there and then like screaming and running away.
I knew
And
it.
from there, it sparked on to the entire world. Like it started popping up everywhere, and like there were actually people like chasing people and like trying to break windows and open up doors. Like those people were messed up, but it started off just as an advertising for a movie in this town.
Okay, this is not my own idea, but it was someone who was talking to me or a podcast I was listening to, and someone was like, just wait until you hear that this was all some marketing campaign for a movie. And I was like, that's exactly what it has to be. Because why is it that no one is getting injured? Except for the clowns. No one is getting really attacked by these clowns, just scared. And that just makes no sense. Like,
Well, I
it
mean-
made no sense.
Ruled by idea, though. To be
Gemini,
afraid,
yeah.
to be afraid to like go out at night because there might be a clown. I did not see a single one in Illinois though. Like where
No.
I live, I don't see crap
There was one reported.
in
Like,
Waukegan.
yeah.
By you know where Waukegan, like the South Lake campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everything happens.
Everything.
in the South
Like, I got a
Lake
text
campus.
yesterday that there was
Yep.
like battery.
There was
Yeah,
a
there
Someone
was.
like beat up
yep.
each other all by South Lake, like by Waukegan. I'm like, this is why I don't go there ever.
A few weeks there was like a shot fired or something.
Yeah, like someone
There was
broke a window.
projectile.
A
Yeah.
projectile was thrown through the window, and then yeah, it's a little sketchy.
Don't you love it how, like, every time something happens in the area, the college will send you a text. It's like, crime alert. Something 40 minutes ago happened. That's 40 minutes away. There was a bank robbery.
Hey, that's when you
In
need
Chicago.
to know. That's when you need to know. If it's 40 minutes away and it happened 40 minutes ago, then
Yeah, you
whoever
need to
did
know
it is
right
going to
then.
show up right now.
Yeah, you need to know right
That's
then,
called
at
good
least.
timing right there.
But why would you rob people at colleges? Because, yeah, they might have high-tech...
Well, no, it's not about
Devices?
robbing. It's not about robbing. It's definitely not about robbing.
it's about supply and demand of rulers.
No,
Yeah.
it's not about rulers either. It's about like what happens if a gunman goes into a college campus and starts shooting people, which has been happening from time to time. And that's why COC is actually like trying to be more alert about it. Because if you're in a classroom and that alarm goes off, the doors will lock and no one from the outside can get in at all.
Yeah.
Even with a key card, even with a key, no one can get in until that alarm is turned off. So, like, they're pretty serious about the fact they don't want their students dying. So that's why they always have that alert there, because you don't know if the guy who's just robbed a place has a gun, or just broke into another building has a gun. Like, they're just trying to be careful of their
Yeah,
students.
they have to be.
They have to be. Like, it would be awful to say that in our own town, someone just shot up a college because we didn't have any alerts, because people thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the school is a good place to hide. Like, it's not a great place, but it's a good place to hide.
And if you want to cause havoc, what better place than like a college campus where you're not really allowed to have guns or like weapons on the campus? So who's gonna stop you?
Yeah. It's not like the campus police are going to stop you.
All those homeschoolers with like their 3-inch pocket knives. Like,
yeah.
Yep. You see them. There was one guy, he had like a small hunting knife like attached to his belt, and I'm like, how did the cops not pull you over? Like, but I guess you can do it if you.
I carry a pocket knife on myself when I claim utility.
Yeah.
A teacher was like, Oliver, why do you have this knife on you? I'm like, well, I use it at work. And then they kind of take it away from me. It's not a weapon, it's just a utility
knife.
Right. So, it really is just to make sure I don't get attacked by people, because I'm not exactly the strongest person, like...
You're fast, though.
I'm fast, but like I'm not exactly the strongest person, so if someone's fast and strong, I have this to carry around, but nowadays it's just out of habit.
Okay, now that you mention that, we have a story to tell. So during the summer, we had all gone out as a group with a bunch of college friends. We went bowling. And it was like this deal where like 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. or 1 p.m. all you can bowl for $10. And we're like, that sounds awesome. So we go and we bowl until like 1:30 and we leave and we're like, let's go to the Taco Bell drive-thru, right? Because we're all hungry. So some people have already gone through. Jonathan, JK, I think you had parked, right?
Yeah, we parked and we were waiting for like, there were a couple of groups. We had several cars there, so we were waiting for a couple of them to like go through the drive-through, and then we had one car that was across the street at like a Walgreens.
Do you want me to go with this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we were talking about some of the girls that were in a group went to Walgreens to get ice cream, and Cameron went over with them. So there were 3 people over at Walgreens. There were 2 people in a car getting Taco Bell. There was me and Jonathan throwing frisbee around, and another guy named Grant.
Dan. No, Dan was.
No, Dan was.
Oh, Grant.
No, this is Grant.
Oh,
Grant. So it was Grant. Different Grant. And me and Jonathan just throwing the frisbee around, and whenever a car passes by us to go to the drive-thru, we stop. We immediately stop. We hold the frisbee. We take a step back just to let people know we aren't there to mess with you. We're just trying to have fun in a parking lot while we're waiting for people to get food, because I wasn't hungry and he's gluten-free, so he couldn't really get anything there.
Completely harmless. We're just tossing a frisbee. And
then this red truck comes up. This big red pickup truck comes up. And we're throwing back and forth, and then as the car drives by, the driver says something underneath his breath. And I'm assuming it was like, F you kids. Or something. It was something that I don't think was nice, because all Jonathan said was, excuse me, right? Like an honest, curious way. Like, excuse me, what did you say? And he took it as like, what did you say? Like an intimidating...
Like fighting words?
Yeah, and this is like in a not...
I thought I was trying to pick a fight.
I thought I was trying to take a fight. And like, this wasn't like the best, like...
By the way, if you know me, I'm not that intimidating of a person.
No.
If you're scared of me, like, there's a problem, because I'm not, like...
Yeah, it's you.
I'm not threatening.
It's not Jonathan.
Yeah.
You're scared of Jonathan. It's you.
Like, we're not in, like, the best part of where all of us live. We're kind of in the shady, like, more ghetto part.
And it's, like, freaking 2 a.m.
And it's, like, 2 a.m. in the morning, so, like, what do you expect?
Okay, yeah, no, that...
Yeah, so it's
by 2 a.m.
It's by Taco Bell and bowling place called Christoph's. So he said, excuse me, and the guy, like, almost immediately on the passenger side jumps out of the car and runs right up to Jonathan's face, like 5 to 6 inches away from his face, and it's like, what the F did you say?
He just starts cussing me out. He's standing, like, right in my face and, like, trying to intimidate me, right? And, like, he's kind of built, like, he's well muscled. But, like, the funny thing is, like, I'm only, like, 5'8", 5'9", and he's, like, an inch or two shorter than me, and he's, like, trying to intimidate me. So I just kind of stare right back at him.
But you can tell that, like, he's not like a buff. Like throughout his body, you can tell he only does like arm stuff. Like he only does biceps to make his biceps look really big and intimidating.
Yeah, that's called a prison build.
Yeah,
I learned that from Kevin Hart.
He was prison built. He really wasn't like.
Thanks, Kevin Hart.
Everything else wasn't like, oh, that was pristine. I was like, but he's shorter than Jonathan. He's yelling in his face at Jonathan. He's like, what are you looking at?
And there's a red tinge to his eyes, and like I can tell that there's some sort of like substance abuse that's taking place.
It's
drunk. 2 a.m.
You could tell, and they're at Taco Bell, so like the mix wasn't good. So he was like trying to pick a fight with him, and all Jonathan's doing is like puts his hands up and be like, no, I'm not trying to fight anything. He sticks his hand like, I'm trying to be the most like Not aggressive at all. Please don't hit me.
So then he looks over at Oliver and he's like, "Hey, are you with him?"
And and at this point, like, my heartbeat's like racing, right? And I'm like 20 to 30 feet away, and I'm like, yeah. And he just looks at me, looks at him, like, you better back the F off, kid. You better go home, kid. And then he's still back at Jonathan.
And then they just like, he looks at me for another second, and then he walks away and starts cussing us out. And I knew that if Oliver had said, "No, I'm not with him," this guy would have tried to fight
like,
me.
you try to fight him, like, instantly. And at this point, like, I'm like, I take a step around my car so he can't see me. I pull out my phone on a dial 911. And like, I don't hit call because I'm waiting. Because if they're just drunk people just trying to, like, big words, no fight, then I'm going to be fine with this. But if it went south, it would have been a dial 911 real quick and then rush in to help Jonathan get this guy off of him.
Not only that, he also got the license plate number,
Yeah.
which I was really impressed by.
I still have the license plates numbered in my head.
You still have it
I
memorized?
still have it memorized. And
If we see those guys again.
Oh my gosh. But, like, I had my hand on my pocket knife, which I have carried, of course, and it was like, I don't know what to expect right now from these guys, and I'm actually a little afraid, because if he gets punched and somehow he gets knocked in the jaw and he's out, I'm like the same build as Jonathan. I'm not intimidating. Like, same thing. Like, if someone's intimidated to me, the problem's with you, not me. Like, I can't throw a punch. And this guy, Grant, who's like 50 feet away from us, is just like, he's hiding behind
He's just kind of back there hiding.
He's hiding behind, like, his
He was no help, man.
like his like
Oh wait, yeah, Grant was with you.
yeah. He's hiding, not like Grant,
Not Grant Metzger.
no, not Grant Metzger,
Okay,
but like,
this Grant.
Let's just throw out last names.
no, it doesn't matter, but
We'll
like,
fix that in post. You can edit that.
this Grant, he's like in a nice
Okay.
BMW car, and he's just hiding behind it. And he's skinnier than both me and Jonathan, like, hardcore.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So, he is of no help, and he books it. He goes in his car and just drives away,
He
basically.
should have got in the car and like used it as a battering ram to support
He
me.
should have done something.
Should have
but-
like hit him with his car or something.
but he didn't. So, like, the guys get back in his truck, and we're like, what the frick was that about?
Well, wait, hang on. They finished cussing us out, and then they're like, "Stay in school, kids."
Stay in
Like,
school, kids.
That was their last like parting bit of advice, and I was like, "Huh, I'll take that to heart."
So me and Jonathan look at each other, and we're like, we should go right now.
Yeah.
And then we're like, I'm calling Cameron, I'm calling, like, the girls that are with us, and none of them are answering. And then finally one picks up, I'm like, we're driving over now, these guys just try to pick a fight with us, and they're like, what? We're so confused, like, we're just going over to Walgreens now, just wait for us. I hang up. So me and Jonathan drive over, but we leave Cameron's car on the other side. Because he ran across the street. We didn't realize that until we were all over on the other side, so this car is just sitting there. And then, Jobe and Ben are like 2 cars in front of this red truck that's cussing us out, and they're getting their food. I'm like, well, screw this. I'm just gonna like call Ben, like, just go to Walgreens and we'll hang up. So we're all at Walgreens. We're just kind of convening. We're like recapping the things, and they're like, Cameron and the girls are like, wow, what the frick? What is wrong with those people? And I'm still nervous. I'm on high alert, and I'm like, those guys are going to come over. I know it. These guys are going to come over.
Yeah, because they were
enough,
still
yeah.
in the
They're still in the
parking
drive.
lot.
They're going to look across and be like, we're going to mess with the kids even more. And I'm like, we need to get out of here, but they're just eating food. I'm like, all right. We have like 8 people in our group.
Yeah,
And these are 2 dudes. I think we could win this fight.
especially if they're under the influence of something.
Yeah, I'm like, I think we can win this fight. So it's like, I start calming down just a tad bit. Like, my heartbeat's going to normal. And then I hear the big vroom of the truck, like, vroom! And I'm like, oh my gosh, here they come. And sure enough, they buy their food, and they go across this, like, 4-lane, like, not really highway, but down this road, and they go across, and they start drawing, like revving their engine as they're going across the street and into the parking lot.
So like,
And so at this time, we're all terrified and
Yeah.
jump in our cars and lock
Like,
the
Joe,
doors.
Ben, the girls jump into the cars. Me and Jonathan, and Cameron are all standing out there because we're like, this needs to stop. Like, if they jump the people that are trying to not deal with them and they had nothing to do with them in the first place, we need to make sure they don't get beat up really,
But we
really
wouldn't
badly.
have. We wouldn't have. Had they attacked us, we were like, all right, go into reverse and start driving people over. That would be my response. I was like, look, if you're gonna try to attack me, I'm gonna paralyze you with my car.
that's my plan.
I mean,
too.
hopefully me and Cameron and Jonathan could hold them off, so you could literally just not drive someone over, because then you're like, and then a whole bunch of
then
like
you'd be
police
in trouble.
situations.
Okay, legally
Yeah.
that gets iffy. If they had a weapon, yeah, for sure, but no.
But no, so
They were fairly harmless.
they're driving back and forth, yelling at us still, telling us to go home, like cussing us out, and And my blood's kind of boiling them right now, because, like, we didn't mess with them in the first place, and now they're just messing with us, so now I'm starting to get irritated at them. So I go inside at Walgreens, I'm like, hey, these people out here are driving back and forth, they're spitting on our friend's car, they're throwing food at our friend's car, and while they're screaming, like, obscenities at us.
So he comes back with, like, this big guy who works at Walgreens.
No, this is the old guy. This is an old guy.
All I saw is that he was pretty tall. Like, I didn't know how old he was.
He was tall and old, and he was just like, well, I don't see them, and he just went back inside. Because they had driven off at this point because it took him so long. So I call 911, I give it to Jonathan, because I'm like, third time's the charm, maybe they come back and actually attack us this time. So I'll give the phone to Jonathan, he's talking to the police, so...
Yeah, so they sent a squad car over, but they're like, yeah, you're kids and you're out at 2 a.m., like, what do you expect? Like, you're just being stupid.
Although, I would hope they believed us that we weren't starting to fight anything, but I did give them the license plate number.
Oh, yeah, we gave them the license plate number, so... Like,
and then, like...
they might have tracked him down.
I heard sirens on the way back home when I was, like, crossing my fingers, like, I hope these people are in jail right now, because, they seem intoxicated and really high. Like, it just didn't seem safe.
No, it wasn't.
They were probably more of a danger on the road than they were to us.
Yeah. But that's the Taco Bell story, which happened... Oh, this is also the night... I was leaving that morning at like 7 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, you had like a big road trip the next day.
I was leaving for New York at 7 in the morning, but luckily I didn't leave at the time. I didn't leave till like noon because of my parents, like, and the rest of the family was really late. But like, I was like, I'm gonna get like no sleep right now. I'm already irritated, and I'm like all hyped up on like adrenaline and freaking out. You know.
So that's the story. That's what happened.
That's crazy. All right, so let's transition. We did this for the first podcast. We're gonna do it again.
Sorry for the noise.
We got a little game, which you all should know, called Will You Press the Button, where you are given a scenario in which something good happens, but something bad also happens, and we're gonna give our honest answers to that. So our first one here is, you win the Nobel Prize of Physics for discovering a new source of unlimited energy, but eventually your discovery is used to create a weapon worse than the atomic bomb. Hands down, I'm doing it.
Alright, my first question is, do I get to control when it becomes a weapon? Like, am I the first one that realizes it's a weapon, and I kind of use the weapon?
You want to mega nuke the world again?
I want to know if I could use the weapon if somehow it becomes a weapon.
So you make the energy source, but you also turn it into a weapon.
I also turn it into a weapon. It says, eventually your discovery is used to create a weapon. So that means my discovery for unlimited energy creates this. So if that's the way it is, I say wholeheartedly yes. I would win the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Prize, not Peace Prize, by the way. And then it becomes a bomb, and then I don't get the Nobel Peace Prize anymore.
And then you mega nuke the moon again?
No, I don't mega nuke the moon. I save it, and I threaten every country. I would threaten China first and be like, all our like $19 billion in debt is gone. It no longer exists. You owe us money now. Otherwise, you're mega nuked.
Mega nuked.
Mega nuked.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to say no because I am ethical, unlike all of them.
All right.
Wait,
Jojo, what do you
Jojo has to answer.
I think that it would be unavoidable to discover a new energy source
unlimited
and not have it be used for a
and
weapon.
not have new weapons come of it. So yeah, I would discover it.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip this one just because it's... All right.
Yes.
This one's stupid. All right. You can see anyone's future, but you don't get to see your own. This is just like...
That's the best part, is like not knowing your own future. So like, of course.
Yes, because I make so much money.
Yeah, you would.
An actual, like...
Be a fortune teller.
Fortune teller that's 100% accurate.
No, you don't even have to do that. You can do it like to mess with the stock markets. There's so many...
Yeah. Well, no,
things...
see anyone's future.
That's not a person's future.
Yeah, that's not a person's future.
No, but if you see a lot of like famous people's future, it's like, oh, this famous guy, head of a company, is gonna die in a few days.
Okay, so you're thinking that you can do it anytime, anywhere. I was thinking you had to be in like the room with the person.
No, you just choose a person and you see their future.
So if I wanted to see Jonathan's future, right, that'd be pretty cool. Or like Emma Stone's future. And could you manipulate that future? Then the future changes.
No. You can't manipulate it if you've already seen it.
Is the future set?
But can you? Yeah, that's the thing. Is the future set? Can you change it? Can you?
According to X-Men, no.
Okay, X-Men's a little faulty with there, but I would say no. The future's not set. But I would say you could definitely use this to your advantage.
I would definitely do this. It's basically saying, would you like to see other people's futures? Just because you can't see your own, I already can't see my own.
Yeah,
It's not like it's a trade-off of I'm losing my ability to see my own
you don't
future.
lose
true.
anything at
That's
all.
true. All right, Jojo, what do you think?
I could see loopholes where, okay, first of all, it's anyone's as in unlimited, right? It's not like you
Yeah.
pick one person. Okay. Well, if you saw a lot of the people who are close to you, as in family and friends, if you saw their future, I think you'd get a good idea what your own was.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially if you were married,
Wouldn't
and
it,
if you saw your spouse's future, like I think it would be just about the same.
wouldn't it be great if you all right, let's start off slow and just do a week into my spouse's future. It's like your funeral.
yeah,
no,
exactly.
no.
And then
Exactly.
a week later, it's like she's dating your high school enemy.
No. It specifically says you can't you can't get your own, which means that even if you see someone else's, you wouldn't be a part of it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Like,
But what if it's
you could see them at a funeral, but you couldn't see what they're why they're
So then
crying.
you
at.
could still kind of guess it was.
You
your
could
own.
guess, but you
Yeah.
don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is how it is. Kind of
but
now.
especially if you go and see that she's with someone else, it's like, well, either she's cheating on me or I die in a week.
No, this is great though, because you could figure out if all your pickup lines would work. You could just
Yeah.
test them out, and just in the future, you would know.
Oh my gosh! All right, yes, we're all pressing
Yes.
that button. Let's do a bad one.
All right.
All right. Okay. This one's stupid.
No. Do
All right, fine.
Do it.
You have the ability to become invisible for as long as you want, but you can't use your power to watch the opposite sex in a shower or anywhere else. First off, I've got a problem with this. This one is it's unfair for gay people or anyone in the LGBTQ.
There you go.
It's like,
Okay, yeah.
I don't
yeah.
have to see my sex, but this is... It's like, do you want invisibility? This is just like the other one. You're not losing anything that you already have.
I mean, unless you're a
gaining
pervert.
a power.
Yeah.
True.
So that means you can't do anything what
all
little
it's saying
preteens
is,
wanted.
All it's
Oh, no,
saying
you
is
can't be a pervert.
would you use the power of invisibility as long as you weren't allowed to be a pervert with it?
Yes!
That's it. It's not really a
So
trade-off. It's just like a
So, wait,
restriction.
The
Yeah.
money you could make as a spy?
It says anywhere. No, it says anywhere else. You're literally not allowed to watch any female
No.
for
in
us.
a shout.
Or
Or
anywhere
anywhere
else.
else.
You're literally not to watch the opposite sex at
at
all.
Wait
Wow.
a second.
Like, you lose invisibility
read
the
that.
moment you try to spy on a female, or for us specifically.
So basically, anytime you're around the opposite sex, you just go uninvisible.
yeah, no, I say no.
What
Would not
on
push a
earth?
button.
I would still do it. Just
I would
to
do it because
mess
you
with
could
people.
there's not many women in war.
Well,
so.
alright, here's the thing. It also says to watch the opposite sex. If you close your eyes, you will always be invisible.
Oh, but if you were spying, if you were in an enemy war room and you're spying on them and they're all guys, and then a female walks in, BAM!
You're
then are you
invisible.
visible?
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
If
you're
you
also
look at
dead.
her.
And then
But if
you're
you
also
just
dead.
close your eyes until she's gone.
Yeah, well,
But you would
okay.
see her first. You would see her first, and you would
No,
be
no,
invisible.
you
because
become
all it says
uninvisible,
is-
then you close your eyes and become invisible.
Yeah, but exactly. You would be
Right.
seen for that second, and then you would.
Yeah,
be...
but people would be like,
Stuff be
but
done.
no one would be like, oh, there's an invisible spy. They'd be like, oh,
Also,
we were just having a mirage.
You're invisible. That doesn't mean you just can't be touched. You're not like a ghost. You can still be
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll still be detected, too.
Motion sensors.
Oh yeah.
So I would say no. I say no.
I'm gonna still do this because in casual use, you could definitely screw with some people.
All right, let's do another bad one.
All right.
That doesn't seem that bad.
I know. I want to find it. All right. Here's an interesting one. You get the car that you've always wanted, but now you hate cars forever.
No,
That's what?
no, I wouldn't press it.
What
Would you even want it
Alright,
then?
that one was kind of
You
stupid.
wouldn't even get
No.
the.
That's
Forget it.
stupid.
But you know what? You could get a really fuel efficient car, and even if you hated cars, you'd still have a fuel efficient car,
See, that would be worth it.
and you wouldn't have to buy it. Yeah, I'm gonna push it. Oliver,
No.
Jojo.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't like that one.
It was way too
Yeah.
just pathetic.
No.
What?
Skip it.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
That's not even a good one. These are bad ones.
All right, you can change your eye and hair color without dyeing it or using eye contacts, but you're fat.
But you would be fat.
See, this is not a. So this is where it's like, if I'm never gonna be skinny again, I have an excuse.
No,
But I could also eat whatever I wanted, and I'd still be fat.
I wouldn't.
don't
Yeah, no,
wanna
I
do
wouldn't.
that.
I wouldn't sacrifice my health just for orange hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
no.
stupid.
No, I will
Jonathan?
not.
No, okay.
Because you
Do
can
bad. Do a bad one.
Because you can dye your hair and you can
That's
get
not how it works,
contacts.
Oliver.
Click the bad one. Stop clicking the good one.
No, that's
No,
that's
you have to
rating
rate
it.
the one you just had.
Ah,
It doesn't
what?
choose the next one.
It should be.
Okay, this is a good one. You are immortal, but you're also paraplegic.
Okay, no.
No.
Will not push.
You would just have to
the button.
watch the world. Like, that would... You know what? You could be one of the most successful writers of all time. Or, like...
But you can't write.
Yeah.
What do you get? A speech
You could
software?
be a historian. No, yeah, you could, let's see, what could you do? There's there's speech softwares.
No, no, that's trash.
It's not trash.
Jojo?
It's trash.
No.
No. Okay, we'll do 3 more.
Nope.
Alright. Okay, this one's interesting. You get as much money as you want, but you're only awake for 4 hours of the day.
Nope.
Yeah,
Sounds
but those
hard.
4 hours would be epic. Like,
Yeah, I know. They really would.
No, but here's why, right?
What happens, though, if, like, you hit hour 20? Do you just drop? Like, your body just drops?
You just drop.
Like, no, I
Wait,
wouldn't.
do you get to pick which 4 hours? Are they all in a row, or is it just like 1 hour, like every?
You're only
every
awake
so
for 4
often?
hours a day.
Because like,
I
if
think you can choose. You can choose which
'cause
hours.
if you couldn't control that, I would say no.
I still don't think it's that good. 4 hours is a lot of time. It's 1/6 of your entire day, and you could do 4 hours of awake. Like, what happens if you want to? You have infinite money, right? What happens if you want to travel somewhere, right?
You do stuff 4-hour increments.
That's just
Actually, you
stupid.
could probably just sleep on the plane, but
I don't like it very much.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
You wouldn't
that
get to
fun.
live a lot of your life out, though.
yeah.
You get so little.
All right, no.
Yeah, okay, no, I wouldn't do it.
I'd rather only sleep 4 hours a day.
Alright. So you could eat as much ice cream as you want, which I already can, because I have money, or you would have nightmares every night.
No, it's
not
not
worth
worth
it.
it.
Like,
It's not worth it.
I can just go out and buy $7 of ice cream and not have nightmares.
Yeah, I've had a lot of nightmares in my time, and none of them are fun. So I don't know why I would like force myself to have
And
unlimited ice
especially,
cream.
like, yeah, ice cream is okay, but you'd actually grow to hate it if you could have as much as you want. It's like, I hate ice cream.
Wouldn't you be fat too?
Yeah, I know. I'm Jojo?
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that one either. That was bad. Alright. World peace is created with never-ending prosperity for all. But you die and no one will ever know what you did. This is like one of those morality things.
No, I would not press
I
the
would
button.
say no, because the world doesn't deserve world peace.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The world does not deserve world peace.
Now, alright, if this was like someone you love gets money and you die and no one knows, I would do it, but not for the world's world peace. It doesn't
Wait,
need
you don't
world
think
peace.
world peace would like be a really useful thing for people that you know?
No, I don't think it'll happen. I don't think...
It will happen.
I mean,
It's the
it would happen. The
question.
button would for sure like be like, boom, a world peace, but you die and no one knows
And
who
it's
you
never
are.
ending. It's not like it'll change.
I would say no because they don't deserve it.
I would say yes. You have to. I
It's
mean,
prosperity for everyone.
if you love your family at all, then yeah. Like,
But isn't by proxy you killing yourself makes like your family so like sad? They don't
yeah,
know
but
why
at
you
least
died.
there's no wars anywhere.
You'd be the last recorded person to die.
Well,
No,
I don't think that's... Alright, so I think world peace just means no fighting between nations.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
They've still been murderers and stuff like
Wait,
that.
do you die immediately?
It doesn't
Or
say.
does it just say you die?
You know what,
I
though?
would
says
assume
you
I would
die.
assume it'd be immediately though.
Here's something I
think
will
this
say.
is just talking about after you die. No one knows. It doesn't say when you die.
Here's something, though. Soldiers already do this just for the chance of getting out of one war. Like, soldiers go and
Yeah,
die
right.
for the chance of getting out of just one war.
Except
So
that
it's
people,
pretty selfish to say
people
you
do
would,
know what
yeah.
they did, though.
I would. Well, okay, so if
Yeah, but there's so many soldiers, and there's especially unnamed soldiers that just never get recognized. Like,
So-
only...
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's implying that you die as soon as you choose it.
And, like... This is just like, are you a good person?
That's
the question.
If I was 75, I would say yes.
Nice.
If I had lived my life,
I would do it.
It would be an easy yes. But
It's a hard yes.
I think I'm too selfish to say yes.
I also don't think people deserve it.
Yeah, it's a hard yes for me, but I'm just gonna say no. Jonathan?
I say yes. You guys suck.
Alright, well, let's do one more, because...
One more.
Alright. Alright, everyone who is poor in the world will become wealthy, but everyone who is wealthy will become poor.
Yeah, that'd be really funny.
Dude, that'd be like
For sure.
So
Define wealthy. Is that
this is just Bernie Sanders' political campaign. It's like, we need a political revolution where all the poor will become wealthy and all the wealthy will become poor.
So basically,
Definitely.
what this would be is, right, so that it's according to the 1% has, 80% of our money?
Something like
Something
that.
ridiculous like that. So all it would be is that the 99% would be wealthy and the 1% wouldn't. Does that not seem...
No, it's a good idea, but are you wealthy or poor? Like on a relative
So
scale?
wealthy, I would assume it would be like 150K plus.
150K plus what? Over a lifetime? Over...
No, like per year, 150K per year is like wealthy.
But if
Okay.
you spend it all,
But
are
also-
you
okay,
wealthy?
We're not asking if you're wealthy. We're like that. We're not
That's
asking
the
that
exact
point.
question we're asking
no,
is
you-
if we're
It
wealthy.
doesn't matter if you spend it all. You're still wealthy from getting all that money.
Not if you spend it all and then you don't
You're
have any
still,
left.
You're still wealthy.
If you
from-
spend all your money, guess how much money you have?
but
Zero.
guess what?
Zero
But guess
wealth.
what? But guess what? You're going to get it again and again and again and again. You're getting.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that you'll stay wealthy. It just says you'll become
Okay, so wealthy by definition means you have a great deal of money, resources, or assets. So for instance, so like someone like Donald Trump, who was bankrupt a few years ago, would still be considered wealthy even as soon as he was bankrupt, because when you get that high up, you have so many assets that it's common for billionaires and millionaires who play the real estate game to go bankrupt because they can get out of it really easily with all their assets they have. So yeah, I think it would be fun to do that. It would be interesting.
Are
I don't
we
know
wealthy,
how
though? That's
it
the
would
question.
divide though.
I don't think that
This
will work.
poor and
Okay,
it will become
so
wealthy.
think about it for just a second.
Will
If
become
everyone,
poor.
all right, so if everyone who is poor, according to this, definition, becomes wealthy. So if we say that the 99% have like all the money, does that really change how the world works?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
When everyone's wealthy, no one
Nobody
is.
because
Except for the
you've
poor
inflated the
people.
currency to the point at which you'd have to pay proportionally more for the same services.
But what if it means you have a lot of goods? Like,
No.
everyone's got an abundance of goods. Not money, but like an abundance of goods. Then you're still wealthy.
The,
and there's still an
the
abundance.
currency wouldn't change. If 1% has 80% of the entire wealth of America, right? That just means that 1% doesn't have 80% of the wealth, which means
So
it's
it
more
redistributes.
it's distributed.
So you're
so-
not as wealthy.
So you're not as wealthy as them, but it's definitely as everyone's
But
wealthy.
think about it. If you go and buy like a $5 like anything, if you buy like a $5 or like a coffee that's a couple dollars, if you buy that and then suddenly everyone has so much more to spend, do you really think that like people are not going to charge more for
would
it?
it matter?
It would matter. It would be the exact same proportion. You wouldn't be wealthy. You would still have the same buying power that you did.
Well, then that 1% would be upset. Like, it would just be what it is.
So all it
now.
does is make some rich people poor.
Well, class, welcome to Economics 121. This is socialism versus
none of us have
capitalism.
taken economics, so it's just a bunch of conjecture.
This is just a question of socialism versus capitalism.
It's,
Kind of.
All I'm saying is that if the 99% had the wealth, I would think that what I think, right, is if they're wealthy, I think it would stay wealthy. It doesn't like flip-flop, right? It doesn't like the moment you're wealthy, someone's going to blow it all out. No, you would keep it because otherwise you're poor. Otherwise it'd be a recycle. Every time
Oliver,
you're poor.
think about what it means to be wealthy. To be wealthy means to have like access to goods and services that are provided by other people that aren't wealthy. If everybody is wealthy, then no one will want
That's
to
not
provide
by
those
accessing
services.
goods. If they're not wealthy.
If
That's
you
not the
have a lot
definition.
of stuff and everyone has a lot of stuff, then
Then
the
you-
world just has a lot of stuff. Yes, by technicality and relativity, you're not wealthy anymore, but you're a lot better off than when you had nothing.
So if wealth is material, then yeah, that works. But someone's still got to operate like all of our services that we have in today's
Not if
society.
everyone has. If everyone has
stop.
an abundance of water and food and shelter, then maybe
Really?
you don't have to operate.
You have
services.
unlimited water, but it's like contained in one water bottle. No, you have to ship that from somewhere to somewhere. Like you have to operate transportation. You have to operate like sanitation. All these services that make society run have to be operated by people.
That's what will make the poor people do.
No,
it.
but
The
you-
1%.
But you're
1%
no,
can't operate a whole
no,
nation.
You're assuming that everyone who becomes wealthy will automatically become stingy and don't want to do any of those jobs. You're assuming that everyone at that moment will be like, I don't want to do that job anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, even
Yeah,
if I had
which is
money,
not
I'd
I think
still
that's
do stuff.
fairly reasonable.
No, it's not fair at all. You're assuming for what? How many people do we have in America?
324 million.
324 million people who are like whatever, the 99% of that, you're assuming that all of them are so selfish that they will automatically decide that they're going to let their talents become trash and garbage. I think with all that money, they are going to either work for it, they're going to make robots, and it's going to like send us into like some technology advanced city because of all the money that all the trying to resources in to either not do it or they're just going to work it like they did before.
Saying that we have more money just means you have more buying power, and I've already made my argument about buying power, so that doesn't really affect anything. Like the buying power stays the same regardless of if we all have $1 or if we all have $100. Like it's going to cost proportionally the same for the same stuff.
But then
Not for the poor people.
So I'm just saying that there are
Again,
there
the poor
are,
people get screwed.
There
That's
are
it.
there are shops in California where buying a jacket is like $1,000+, right? But there's still places in America where a jacket can be like $50. I don't think that all of a sudden everything's gonna be $700 for everyone because wealthy just means you have a lot.
No. Okay, so what would happen is basically like everything's expensive in California, especially in the San Fran area. Well, there's also a lot of homeless people in the San Fran area. So it'd be interesting because I'm not sure the prices would change that much because the wealth would kind of balance there. But if you go to somewhere like LA where there's not that much homeless, but there's a lot of wealth, all of a sudden all those people are then poor. And then all that wealth would then shuttle to somewhere else. I don't know, Detroit. And so then all these economies would flip-flop. But the problem is, we're looking at it, if you're going to define wealth by just the top 1%, then, yeah, I think wealthy in this case would be more than the top 1%. I think it would be similar to what Oliver said earlier. If you're getting like 6 figures a year, maybe a little more than that, because there's a lot more poor than there is the wealthy 1%. So it would be, yeah.
That's the thing is,
it
what's
would
the
just
cutoff
flip-flop.
point?
It would be more important about, the biggest change would be the personalities and characters that were then in control of that power would be that those were the things that would mainly change, and then it would just affect a lot of economies and power.
It would be interesting.
Real quick, Google middle class because that basically defines wealthy. If you're in the middle class, which is a stupid thing, is because middle class can be like from $40,000 I think to $150,000.
That's still relative to the world, very
exactly.
wealthy.
So like, what is middle class? And if you're upper class, then that means you are considered wealthy. Like that's just what I'm assuming. I mean, this question is really, really interesting from what you come out of it, and it's funny because if you're only pressing the button once, then it just flip flops entirely. But if it's like a continual thing, anyone who becomes poor will just flip back and forth and back and forth. If it's like a continual button.
What if everyone had access to the button, so there's just constant pushing? Now I'm poor. Now I'm poor, so I'm gonna push the button back. No, it's a one-time button.
It's a one-time button. Yeah.
So the question is, would you press it? I'm gonna say, yeah.
After we figure out what the cutoff for what counts as middle class.
Yeah, well, okay, the problem is there's not really a standard way of looking at it.
What are you looking at?
Well, the way they divide classes, there's not like a accepted among everything. It's not like, for instance, the metric system, everyone knows the centimeter to be the same width. But in this, some would say the upper class would be the 1%. Some would say it'd be the 5%. And then in this article, it says some state that it would be the 15%. They widen it. So because of that, no one has the same scale.
We're not even looking at it. Wait, hang on, Joe. We're not even looking at it globally because, like, the United States is a really wealthy nation compared to other nations.
According to the U.S. Census, it's between $25,000 and $75,000
for the
U.S. Census. That's what counts as the middle class to them.
All right, then let me because we're at like 50 minutes already. I'm gonna ask this. All right.
Okay.
At what percentage would you press the button?
Ooh, good question.
What do you mean?
Just to end it off.
Oh, like
you will press the button, but what percent? No, at what percentage would you be like, okay, I'll press the button? That's my question.
What do you mean? At what percentage? Though?
Like the top 5%, the top 1%. At what point were you like, okay, I'll press the button?
If it's the top one, yes. If it's a 60-40, no, because that's a lot of the population. I would say if it's 10% or less.
Okay.
I'd be really tempted to do it no matter what, because I think it would be really funny.
Yeah. No, it would be crazy.
Really funny.
Jonathan?
Oh my gosh.
Just give a percentage.
All right. If we define wealthy as like 15 or less, I think that would make sense, but no more than that, because like I don't know. I think that begins to affect a lot more people after that.
All right, so because I'm American and I think I'm probably actually in the top 10 or 15%, I'm going to go with Oliver I'm going to go the most extreme and say top 1%. Because if it's top 10 or 15, I'm pretty sure as Americans we're in that category and we become poor.
Oh yeah, from a global standpoint.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh well.
I'm changing my answer to Jobe's answer.
All right, well, that was a fun discussion in economics.
Too bad none of us know economics, so like real economists are like looking at this podcast thinking like these kids are so stupid.
I know socialism.
That's great.
I know philosophy. I know
Philosophy is not economics.
sociology.
Well, isn't that good?
Good
boy.
All about people, guys. I know that.
That's good.
Ain't that fun?
You have your skills. That's
Well,
good.
thank you for joining us for another crazy podcast. This is Jobe signing out.
I'm Oliver.
I'm not doing this.
JK says he's
Goodbye!
gone. Bye bye. And
Peace.
Then, and
I'm
Joe,
done.
And he's done.
I'm
All
done
right.
here.
See you guys.